You are using Barrow-Dyad wrong. This would be my last video on Barrow-Dyad, and I will not touch the subject anymore. I just see a lot of people still trashing this goddamn weapon when this weapon is amazing, okay? Just freaking amazing. So first off, what I mean by you using this weapon wrong, a lot of people got hyped when target lock came out. Target lock is very good for this weapon, but the main thing people get mixed up on with this weapon is the bullets ain't the thing that's doing the DPS with this weapon. It's the blights. The blights is what's doing the damage on this weapon, okay? You want to make sure you're taking ambition for the blights to do heck of damage. And what people fail to realize is target lock cannot improve the damage of the blights, because when you reload, target lock buff goes away. Same thing with Titans running around with Peacekeepers. Peacekeeper does not help the blight damage, it only buffs up the bullets that you're shooting, because when you reload, Peacekeeper buffs goes away. Some people, they trying to be unique and they use like the other SMG to get the stacks, and then swap the Barrow-Dyad to shoot the rally off, which is smart. It doubles the damage, doing a bunch of damage with freaking Barrow-Dyad, but you got to keep rotating after that. Like, you have to shoot the blights, get the stacks back up again with Barrow-Dyad, then once you get the stacks up, swap back to another different SMG, shoot those out, and then go back to Barrow-Dyad. It's a good hot swap rotation. I cannot deny it's a good hot swap rotation. It's so you know, if that's what you want to do, you can do that. Then Peacekeepers will double the damage of Barrow-Dyad. But the main thing that you want to do with Barrow-Dyad, I don't have it on me right now, but One for All, and I'll show the clip in the background. One for All is what you want to mainly use on Barrow-Dyad with the ambition. I would say that's like the perfect Barrow-Dyad to keep on you if you don't want to feel like switching all day. Barrow-Dyad with the taking ambition taking ambition slot on Barrow-Dyad, and you'll be able to handle all champions and do damage to the boss and stuff while also handling red names. But if you're lucky, you can activate One for All before you do boss DPS, and if for 10 seconds you get that 35%, that will affect the blight damage on Barrow-Dyad. But on be honest, most boss DPS, you're not fighting ass while doing DPS to the boss, so target lock is the best thing for Barrow-Dyad to at least help the bullets do more damage. It won't help the blight damage, but it help the bullet damage. So if that's the case, how do you get the most damage with Barrow-Dyad? The way you get the most damage with Barrow-Dyad is having weapon buff on you that stay on forever to help Barrow-Dyad damage, aka surges, aka radiant, aka weakening. That's how you get the best damage with Barrow-Dyad. In the clip back in the background, you can see the blight damage when I have radiant on with time for surge with foe tracer on, and weaken the boss with like 15% or 30%, both of them. I show both clips on Carl inside the goddamn low sector. The blight was doing 40,000 damage, one blight, and then it was another clip that the blight was doing like 35,000 damage, right? So with the 30%, I believe I end up total, if you shoot 6 blights, that's a 300,000 damage. And then if you do a 15% weaken instead, you get like a 266,000 damage for all 6 blights. Letting you know, the blights is the main damage on Barrow-Dyad. Just like Final Warning, main damage is the crits. If you can't hit crits with Final Warning, then you won't get the max damage on it. Barrow-Dyad, if you're not getting them blight shots off, you will not get the max damage on it, okay? So I'm bringing this up because now I see Adacross. Shout out to Adacross. Love his content, you know, one of my favorite Destiny content creators. Adacross did a DPS video today, me recording this, and he rigged the numbers so bad that people actually gonna look and think Barrow-Dyad is bad. When he tested Barrow-Dyad with Peacekeepers, he had no surges on, no strand surges on. He only had radiant on. So Barrow-Dyad blight shots was not getting buffed up by anything but radiant. Then he did Final Warning with freaking Mechaneers on that does double the damage, making foe tracer just do insane damage with radiant on top of that. And it was like, bro, you're not showing how strong the gun actually is. Show Final Warning without the Mechaneers and you'll see the damage is kind of close to each other, right? Because they both will be getting benefits from the radiant. But if you want to see Barrow-Dyad true damage, you have to have something on you that buffs up your universal damage on all weapons. So the best way to use Barrow-Dyad is having 3 strand weapon surges in your lead piece, or if you somebody that can get 4x4 surges, do that. So Warlocks, the best thing you would do is Sanguine with Well of Radiance. That's the best way to get the most damage with your goddamn Barrow-Dyad, making it do more damage than Final Warning. Just put on Sanguine with Well of Radiance, have a Strand Super on for the Time 4 Surge, and Barrow-Dyad will be doing more damage than Foe Tracer because of the Blights. It will be doing more damage. Hunters, the best thing you can do for Barrow-Dyad is put on 3 Surges with Radiant Dance Machine and Shade Step, so you can shoot the Blights out fast as possible without having to go through the reload animation. It does more damage than having Foe Tracer on. Radiant Dance Machine is the way to go. And then Titans, I don't know what y'all can do to get the surges. I guess just go Peacekeeper. Just go Peacekeeper, but make sure you put 3 Strand Surges in your leg piece. So not only will you benefit from the surges, you will benefit from the extra bullet damage you're gonna get with Peacekeepers, and then you will benefit from target lock being on. That'll be the best thing to do. And then if you are in an environment that somehow you get the 10%, I mean the one fall 10 seconds going, one fall will be the best option for DPS. Get a trigger and then do DPS to the boss. But most likely that's not the case, right? Most bosses just fighting the boss, so target lock is the best option here. And then of course Radiant. I also would say you could go Tether, because that 30% from Tether does help out with DPS as well. But having a Warlock on your team that can drop a Well of Radiance for you, so you got Radiant on you non-stop for that 20% extra damage for Barrow-Dyad, so the Blights do more damage, is peak. As I said, if you have Radiant going on, Weakening going on, one for all triggered, you can get literally 300,000 damage from one volley of Barrow-Dyad, and if you keep doing it, that's 300,000 stacked on every single time that you do it, right? But if you don't have a Tether out there and you got only 15% weakening, then you're still getting 266,000 damage 6 volleys. That's insane, right? So like Barrow-Dyad, if you want the most damage from Barrow-Dyad, you gotta get buffs that just buffs up weapon damage non-stop. You cannot rely off of Peacekeepers, you cannot rely off of target lock. That's not gonna showcase Barrow-Dyad real damage. You gotta put on surges and stuff so it actually compete. If you're not putting surges on or Radiant on Barrow-Dyad so that the Blights get buffed, and you trying to compare it to Final Warning that doesn't need that only relies off of precision shots for its main damage, then you're not really putting in a fair race here. Because again, Barrow-Dyad, its damage don't come from the bullets, it comes from the Blights, while Final Warning bullets damage come from the bullets. So you gotta put apple to apple, okay? You can't do apple to oranges. You gotta judge them fairly. That's why when I tested in my rematch video between Final Warning and Barrow-Dyad, before Barrow-Dyad even got target lock, Barrow-Dyad won because all I did for the testing is Barrow-Dyad and Final Warning with Strand Surge on. That's all I did. I didn't do Radiance, I didn't do no exotics, I didn't do none of that. And Barrow-Dyad out DPS Final Warning simply because Final Warning, there's a skill curve Final Warning. And when I mean by skill curve, I mean hitting all your headshots. On controller, it's hard to hit all your headshots. PC is easier to do so, right? Controller, you can flinch more. PC, you're good, okay? So on controller, I would recommend Barrow-Dyad. Now on PC, even if you can't hit all headshots, it's still a close race. There's plenty of times Final Warning may beat Barrow-Dyad and Barrow-Dyad may beat Final Warning. From my testing, from hitting a lot of headshots, going against freaking Greg, the Ogre, I was able to get maximum 1.1 mil, 1.2 mil with Final Warning. Hitting all headshots, doing the charge of trick and everything. I was able to get like 1.2 million. With Barrow-Dyad, me not having to worry about hitting all headshot stuff, all I had was target lock on, I was getting 1.68 million. Basically 1.7 mil. So it's a 500,000 difference, right? So easy to use, Barrow-Dyad can get more damage for you without a doubt. Final Warning, if you're hitting all your crits, you probably could get to, and you're doing the perfect charge rotation too with the trick. Perfect charge rotation with the trick, you're not flinching, you're hitting all headshots. Then you'll get probably like 1.5, 1.6, okay? But you gotta hit all your headshot stuff. Like, you gotta be damn near perfect, okay? Barrow-Dyad, you don't gotta do that. You don't gotta do that. It's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Forgiveness. It's a lot more forgiveness. But yes, what I want you to walk away from this video is Barrow-Dyad is not trash. People just using it wrong. Put on that Taken Ambition. Put on that One for All. Put on a Radiant if you can. Put on all your surges in your leg piece, 2 or 3 surges. If you can, put Weaken into your kit. You know, do some universal buffs on yourself to make it that Barrow-Dyad get the blight, extra blight damage that it need. Okay, don't just be going around thinking, dang, I thought target lock was gonna be the thing that changed the weapon. You need surges and stuff on. Okay, it's the blight damage that do the most damage, not the bullets. Okay, this is not Final Warning. Final Warning is getting headshots. Barrow-Dyad is the blights. You want to be spamming the blights as much as possible. The bullets just charge up the goddamn blights. The main freaking thing is the blight. So you want to be able to reload quick. That's why I'm a hunter. I shade step easier. I'm a hunter man. I love that ish. I can just shade step and cancel the reload and get the bullets back. Warlock, put on Lunafactions. Titans, put up that rally barricade. Anything to make you reload quick as possible so you get as many blights out as possible. In a longer DPS phase, Barrow-Dyad is the way to go because you can charge up them blights, get them out quick as possible. In a short DPS phase, you can't get that many blights off. Final Warning is the winner because you won't be able to get as many blights off. Final Warning, all you need is headshots. If you're hitting your headshot, Final Warning go win. So in a short DPS window, Final Warning got it. Long DPS window, Barrow-Dyad. Okay, but most 9 out of 10 is gonna be Barrow-Dyad. The DPS window is not gonna be so short that Barrow-Dyad can get a couple blight shots off. It's just not realistic. Okay, if the DPS phase is short, I would even recommend freaking Final Warning. I'll say immediately pull out that Queen Breaker. But yeah, also when using Barrow-Dyad, the gun is not meant to reload on its own. It's supposed to be manually reloaded, but because we got full auto in our settings, it automatically make the gun reload instead of stopping at 1 bullet. So if you want to use Barrow-Dyad, you got 2 options, 3 options actually. 1, go turn off your full auto mode so that when you're using Barrow-Dyad, it doesn't reload on its own. You can decide when to reload for your blights and whatnot. 2, whenever you see Barrow-Dyad finna do his reload animation, just sprint cancel it. Sprint cancel it like you're a bow user or a sniper user. Sprint cancel the reload so they don't reload the gun. You keep your blights and it'll charge up on this. It'll freaking reload the ammo on its own through its perk. Or 3, when you see you finna reload, throw your melee or your grenade alarm. Throw your melee or your grenade and it'll cancel the reload and you keep moving. That's how you use Barrow-Dyad. Don't get tricked by these other content creators not doing the justification that Barrow-Dyad need for its DPS to get showcased. Make sure the people you watching that talk about Barrow-Dyad, make sure they got surges on, or make sure they got radiance on. Make sure they're giving it a fair case, because Peacekeeper's not buffing up the blight damage. Freaking target lock not buffing up the blight damage. They need to buff up the blight damage. That's what needs to be buffed when using Barrow-Dyad. Anyway, love you guys, appreciate you guys always, and until next time, stay up.